Hello and welcome my fab fans to Glen's new video. I have my girlfriend on the phone. One of my favorite places that I worked before I started working at a KFC was a little local bar that I used to deliver pizzas at. And at one point, with the meals and stuff, I would get free meals at that bar, and free drinks were a regular thing, just what we were allowed. And one thing I'd regularly do is I'd get a pulled pork sandwich for my brother, or I'd get an eggplant pizza, and they'd give me like a small pizza. But I know people who used to take large pizzas home for free. I mean, the place ended up shutting down, but he was planning to shut it down regardless of if we were still working there or not, because he wanted to leave the business entirely and only owned it because his wife wanted it at the time. Okay. I'll still be here. And well, my favorite thing about that was I got to gossip with the boss at one point, the person who owned the place, and I had like a full conversation with him. It was entertaining to me. But the place did shut down because he didn't want to own it anymore. And then the next owner also sold the place because they couldn't afford to keep it open as long as they needed. But they still allowed the workers to have their one free meal and free drinks. Not alcoholic drinks. They only got one free alcoholic drink unless customers would pay for them. But they were allowed. Huh. I don't think I'm supposed to use this color. I think I'm supposed to use orange. Unless there's two types of brown here. No, it shows that there's meant to be multiple brown shades. Because, like, why is this one more orange and this more of, like, a light brown? I think there was a printing error. I'll use the orange, but I don't think it's correct. Unless they really did want to use two different kinds of brown. But I only see, like, these 4x4 pieces for it. God, sometimes this makes me feel colorblind. Oh, look at the box. All angles say that it's supposed to be this color. So I'm going to continue to use this color. But I still don't understand where the dark brown comes in. Is it meant to be black, but they couldn't put black? Okay, so they got black, coffee, and orange. And light brown. But I don't see a coffee color. But I do see a light brown. Unless they look almost identical. Well, it does state that there's only 2 of the browns. So, out of all of the pieces that I have here, there really is only 2 of these total. But it doesn't look like it's a different color. But it makes sense. The best I can do is use this color, because that's all they give me. That's all they given me. They gave me 3 colors. They said there's meant to be 4. I don't know. But you see it too, the color distinction that there was meant to be. They ain't give me that. They said there was meant to be 4 colors when that was on the right. That ain't fair. Not even a little bit. I think I had a full conversation with him about Star Wars. The boss guy that I used to work for. He knew my dad though, which is how I got the job in the first place. Like, they wouldn't show me how to actually sign up and do a resume. My dad would only just tell me to go somewhere and let me get handed a paper. And me trying to fill it out as best as I can. I still don't fully understand all the questions and how to fill them out for those papers, though. Resumes are hard to fill out. Like, why do you need all of this information that I would never know if I didn't look it up on my phone? I do not know things off the top of my head. I do not know any of my previous employers' phone numbers. I don't know where they live. I don't know where the business is located. I just know what it's named occasionally. Half the time I don't even know the name of the business I've worked for, which is both embarrassing but also I don't need to know it if I know where it is. Maybe I just don't ask enough questions. Maybe that's the problem I'm having in life. I don't ask enough questions to know what's going on. I just am around and know where I am going. I think that's my issue. I'd be a really easy target for the army because I would have no idea why I was there or what I'm there for. But I'm really good at following instruction. I actually tried recruiting a lot of people from my high school for army. And I was like, the only thing I'd ever want to do if I was recruited into the army is be a nurse or a doctor. But I specifically want to be a psychologist and help people with their mental health. I want to work them through the issues so that they can live amongst society more peacefully. But I also want to help people like prisoners and stuff rehabilitate. I want to help people fit into society as easily as possible because society does not conform to people who struggle with mental illnesses. They are not easy on people who struggle with physical disabilities. And it's really hard to reincorporate into society after going through any form of trauma. My Sil, she was abused by one of her exes, like physically and sexually, which is not okay. And everyone knows that it's not okay for that to happen. But it's very important to keep in mind that it is a thing that happens. And that we should protect people in general, regardless of what they've been through. When she was working, someone assaulted her, and they would not fire him. He deserved to be fired, and did not get fired. There really is meant to be two colors. See, there's a light brown distinction there. Oh, I'm supposed to be using these colors. I didn't see this. So glad I noticed it. I didn't see it at first. I wish I had someone here with me to tell me that I'm not seeing, because I know I am physically blind, partially. That's why I wear glasses. It blended in with my mat. Do I need a different color underneath my mat so that I can see things? Probably. Definitely. I'm like, why is there two different browns, but I can't see the brown? I think the problem is that this color matches this almost perfectly. Not that. This is not the coffee that they're showing. It looks like brown. It looks light brown. This is apparently light brown. That's not light brown. That's like... Where are they learning their colors? Anyway, I'm gonna try again. The only part I'm keeping the same is the back end, because I can. But apparently this is light brown, this beige-ass color. This pale color that is normally called skin in marker brands. Am I wrong for not believing that this is what they called light brown? The thing is, I even looked at the box to see if I was just seeing colors wrong. But this color matches this. That's why I didn't expect it. This is apparently supposed to be this. Those do not match. Can the directions either be obnoxiously different colors or be the exact same shade with a darker outline? I promise you, it wouldn't be that hard to do. It's a fair distinction. I'm just annoyed. Okay. This is. I feel colorblind right now. I feel so insanely colorblind. You know what? At least I figured that out really early on that I was using the wrong color, you know? I just wanted to be able to speak to my girlfriend while I film so that I can actually have, like, more time to speak to her. And she has to go back to work. I think it's fine. I understand you have work. But it still sucks. The thing is, I meant, like, she could talk to me, like, when she's done with work. And if I'm still, like, filming and stuff, she can be a part of it. I just want more time to talk with her. Take me more. Please come back. The only reason I realized that I was using the wrong color was because of the only flat pieces being these pale ones. That's how I realized what the right color was. I'm glad I figured it out, you know, but it still is not light brown. I mean, technically, it is, but some shades of skin is like a light orange or light yellow, not light brown. So, and the only reason I can say that is because of color pencils that I used for actual skin colors. One of them is a gold color, and one of them is an orange. Specifically sunset orange. And one of them's monk's robe. Which is a weird name, yes. But that is still not light brown. Technically. Names of colors are so subjective. And we all see the spectrum of color completely differently, which makes it even worse when naming colors, which is why names are so subjective and don't mean shit. Which is why I believe that if you're going to make a colored thing that's supposed to look like the color of the item you're making, that you should make it the exact same color as the pieces you're giving us. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, hope you understand the ramifications of my TED Talk. I started putting pieces down and I was like, that is not the right piece. Again. It's really hard when the instructions aren't the right color. It'd be easier if they matched properly. I'm going to make like a comment about that when I rate this set on Temu. And yes, I do actually write ratings and reasons behind them whenever I buy something off of a website. I am that type of person who will go back and spend time rating each and every individual item that they have purchased. Why? Because I can. I am doing you all a service because everyone knows that people who actually write real reviews and give information is so useful. I will state though, write reviews for KFC or just any establishment that you go to. And be specific about who's good from there. It will help the employees not have to deal with so much shit from the higher ups. If you write a ton of good reviews about people, it actually helps them at their job. I still think it's funny how one of my subscribers thought my cousin was my brother. I understand the mistake and where it comes from, because technically his mother did marry my father, but he's still my cousin by blood. So he's forever going to be called my cousin because that's our genetic relationship. My uncle is his father. That's just how it is. So I'm forever going to call him my cousin. I hope that's understandable. Technically, I could call him my step brother, but the paperwork for the marriage certificate is not valid because of the relationship between my dad and my aunt. They are not technically capable of getting married because of their children being related through another separate part of the family. According to legality, according to a few people that have told me this, they're not legally married. Which I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently my dad did the same thing to my mom to where they weren't legally married. I have no idea whether this is true or not, so don't at me on it. But I was told that they're not technically legally married. So she's technically not my stepmother, even if she wants to be. But I think the worst part about my dad and my aunt's relationship is that the only reason my grandmother was okay with that happening was because she never liked Anne and didn't want her with my father. And I was like, ooh. Like, she didn't like her, so she was okay with her being with my dad. And the grandmother I'm talking about is the one who, is not related to my dad. She's like, I mean, I love my son and want him to have a better wife. I was like, damn, grandma. My family, they casually talk shit about each other so quietly and in like a sweet way that it makes it seem like they're not talking shit, but they are. When I'm talking shit, sometimes I don't mean it as like a negative thing, but it comes out as a negative thing to some people. But I think that's just because I'm under-socialized. I mean, I'm surrounded by people who pretend to be nice to each other that are actually talking shit about each other. So I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to socialization. Because I'm socialized by a bunch of Hippocratic assholes who don't like each other. How am I supposed to be nice when everyone I'm surrounded by is so mean to each other? Like, what am I supposed to do when this is all I've been taught? Luckily, at least my coworkers tell me when something I say is not really nice. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I meant well. The problem is, my family is full of people who are like, we mean well, but we do not know how to tell you how to fix your shit in a nice way. So it's just a bunch of us being nice to each other, but also being assholes. Like, we're trying to fix problems that we have with you by telling you in a way that is constructive, but it's definitely not nice if we say it wrong. Like, to one of my coworkers, I said in the most polite way, "You're competent." Apparently, that's an insult. I didn't know that. I just meant it as like, if they leave, we'll manage. You're competent enough. That was polite, according to me. And he's like, if anyone else would have said that, that would have been such a huge insult. Like, you're not the best, but you're good enough. Like, if anyone else would have said it, apparently that would have been just a huge insult. But since I said it, it meant like, we're good. That's a good thing. But the way I did mean it was, I mean, you're not Anna, but we'll manage. I mean, our most strongest workers weren't there, but it's not like we'd fail to handle it and hold down the fort. And they're like, well, that's fair. None of us are her. Or her. Or her. I will iterate, the person I am referring to is a person who's been working there since she was 16. Like, my goodness. And now she has 3 kids. Like, imagine working at a fast food place for like enough years to have 3 kids that are decent age. I mean, I've been at my job for about 2 years. But the only reason I'm working here is because I'm waiting till I'm out of college and fully secure in a different job to leave. Right now, I'm currently looking for a better job since my base degree is capable of allowing me to be a teacher, and they just started putting out teaching jobs. So I can potentially be an art teacher for children. Which is not the best, but it's good enough. And since I have experience babysitting a disabled child with a speech delay, I have experience in the caretaking of children. Which a lot of people are like, don't you hate kids? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, why do you want to be around them? And I'm like, I don't really, but it's actually worth it because if I get experience around children, it actually looks really good on a resume. It's literally just resume building. That's what most of your beginning years of any, like, really good, high-paying job is. But also, I'm building my life while also helping others build theirs. And that means I need to be available to babysit occasionally. Which, yeah, sucks, but it would also be better to just have a morning job rather than a night job, because then I'd have more of the day to myself, and I could study more at night. I would have a better life-work balance, you know? Because whenever I work a morning shift, I have so much more time in the day to do things like filming and recording and hanging out with people. And it gives you access to having more of an actual life. When you have a night job, you wake up and basically have to go to work. You don't live healthy, you can't have a healthy diet, you barely hang on and are barely surviving. Night jobs really do suck, but the pay is usually better. But yeah, no, night jobs, they suck. I love my job, don't get me wrong, but never offer it to someone else. It's just too much work for a person alone. I mean, if it's all you have, go for it, but there are so many better jobs out there. I would never recommend working at a KFC though. They pay the least out of every single fast food restaurant. Yes, you get more benefits, like, and they have a lot of, like, scholarship opportunities and stuff here. And you get your free employee meal, depending on location. Some of them have better leftovers than others. I know I got pretty blessed with my location being so giving, and all the people who worked there being more open to charitable affections. I got pretty lucky with my people being more giving and polite and helpful. Because as soon as I said I was struggling to, like, take care of myself, they started trying to hire new people so that I wouldn't have such high workload. Since I have a mental disability, that makes it harder for me to be able to physically take care of myself. Yeah, I know. I don't seem like I have issues, but I do. And they're a lot sometimes. My mental state isn't all there. I don't live a very peaceful state of mind. Most of the time, I am unable to have enough energy to cook and feed myself properly meal-wise. So for a very long time, all I was eating was something I could cook in the microwave really quickly, and or just boil plain pasta and open a jar of meat sauce, and that would be all I'd eat for like months, which is not healthy per se. Like, yes, I was having vegetables and I got an adequate amount of protein, but I was not eating real meals. It wasn't healthy. And since I was only eating twice a day, it wasn't a lot of food that was actually being eaten. Um, when it came down to it, I think I'd have to say most of my nutrients wasn't sustainable properly. Not for a regular adult diet. People need to eat a lot more to be healthy. And I wasn't getting an adequate amount of calories, which is why I ended up in the hospital for malnutrition at one point. I wasn't eating enough. I was also not drinking enough water or getting enough vitamins, which is actually why I started taking supplements at one point. So make sure I was getting something more than 2 sandwiches and a thing of ramen each day, or some pasta and meat sauce. Because that's all I had the energy to feed myself. And sometimes I would cook something and I wouldn't even have the energy to eat it. Like, I'd make myself a bowl of pasta and meat sauce, and I just didn't feel like eating at all. Like, I was hungry, but I didn't have the energy to eat. I just had the energy to go right to sleep. Sometimes I do this with things that I could just grab and go, and I just don't have the energy to eat. Even if I didn't have to cook it, I just had to grab it and eat it, like a sandwich or something, because it was already pre-made for me. And I wouldn't even have the energy to do that because I was too tired after working all day to even want to eat a sandwich. Sad, right? Imagine being so mentally disabled that you can't even be there to take care of yourself in any form of way. So you just end up starving and sleeping and hoping that you eat more the next day. But you can only eat so much at a time. So after 2 sandwiches, you'd still be hungry, but you wouldn't be able to eat more because your stomach would be full. That's the type of mental illness that really sucks. Is when you legit cannot handle the gravity of caring for yourself. There'd be times when I'd go months, weeks, having access to a shower, but not feeling like you had the energy to shower. I mean, luckily, nobody said I was smelling bad, so clearly I was keeping clean in a way. But I wasn't bathing fully. I wasn't getting my hair washed. I wasn't getting the grease out. And I wasn't healthy. I wasn't happy either. I was disgusted with myself. Most of the time, I get disgusted with myself because I know I physically want to clean myself, but I can't because I'm too tired. but I also was disgusted with myself in general. Cosplaying and filming has made me feel more confident about how I look, but I still do not like looking at my body at all. The only thing that makes it a lot easier for me is pretending that I'm not looking at myself. That's a fun little trick I like to do when I'm going through major sets of dysphoria and stuff. Because body dysmorphia is not fun. Body dysmorphia sucks. And I know some people go through worse versions than others, but every kind sucks. You do not want to feel like you do not like yourself, just as you are. Because we're all perfect in a way. Like, physically, there is nothing really wrong unless we're unhealthy mentally or physically. Our healthy state means we're actively caring about ourselves and others and aware of people and aware of our actions, which is a hard thing to do when you have mental illnesses. I have there's this new dishwasher we have at the place I work, and they are not capable of being aware of their actions and how they're affecting others. A lot of my coworkers joke that he looks like Jeffrey Dahmer. He really does, though. So I get where they're coming from. But he's also really rude to a lot of my coworkers, even though they've tried their best to be polite. He's walked out on us before, and barely gets written up despite all of the problems he's caused people with his attitude. But what can I say other than I don't really care. As long as he does what he needs to and gets out of the way. But he also recently started doing worse on cleaning the dishes, and I'm like, how hard is it to clean a dish properly? He's not even willing to train for other positions like everyone else. He's just content with being just a dishwasher. You're making yourself not valuable at all. I get it, do the bare minimum of work and earn your pay. But you still have to do the bare minimum of your job. And if you're not even doing the bare minimum of your job, you shouldn't be at that job. Especially one as easy as a dishwasher. I wouldn't mind being put into the dishwasher section. Just pay me a little bit more. Because I'd have to go home soaked every night, which means I definitely want to be I definitely want to be able to have nicer soap and body wash, you know? I actually use dandruff shampoo for my skin. I heard it could technically bleach your skin if you're not careful. but I don't know if that's true or not. I just know it strips your skin of all of, like, the oils and stuff on it, which means you're getting rid of all of the dead skin and stuff, and it's really clarifying everything, which is why I use it, actually, is literally just to help clarify my skin and remove all of the dead stuff on the top layer. Which is fun. I gotta make wings. Ugh. I work a very tiring job. Luckily, they gave me today off, which is really nice. They're finally listening that I don't really need as many days as everyone else. Because one, I don't rely on my pay to live entirely. Like, yes, I do like having access to the money because I am saving for a car, but I can survive on less than everyone else because I eat cheaper, I'm better at budgeting, and I also live in my house rent free. I know, that's some spoiled rich kid shit, but the reason my dad lets me live here for free is because he doesn't really want me to struggle while I'm in school. And even my mom doesn't want me to struggle while I'm in school. They both want me to be able to afford basic needs. And the only reason I was even told to get a job is so that I could have, like, my own background for financial and stuff. Like, if I want nice things, I have to buy them myself. Like clothes, food. I know, food. As much as they have food in the house, they don't have food that I like. So, food. Now, the others in the house are more willing to mooch off of just what's here, but I'm not. Though, if I do bring my uncle to the store, technically I can ask for snacks and stuff as like a form of payment for the ride and stuff and the help with groceries. But I don't have enough time to be able to take care of my uncle and myself. And I really would rather not be the person stuck bringing him to the store. Not because it's not fun to spend time with him, but because I don't have the time to just be there to take care of a relative that needs the extra support and the extra help. I'm also really impatient because when I go around stores, I go really fast and I walk so fast. Like, I get my items in the cart within like 5 minutes. while they would be walking, and it would take them 2 hours to get from one side of the store to the other. That's not their fault. They have a physical disability that I do not have, where their legs are paralyzed. So I do not blame them for their difficulties, but I also know that I don't have the ability to take care of them as much as one of the other adults would. Which is why I'm like, why is one of them not taking you? They told you to be here and didn't give you any form of support, and they're not helping you get your own place where you'd have a nurse and a person be there for you. I want him to get the support he needs, but I'm also not willing to be the person to give it. As it's just transportation, and I personally do not like driving with other people in my car. I like being a passenger princess. I know. Weird. But I don't like driving. I've always hated driving. And if I can avoid it, I usually do. That's always been my thing. Though I didn't mind bringing my uncle to the shop, but I wish I had more time to. Because usually when I go to stores, I go to multiple stores and get all of the different things that I need throughout the week. But whenever I go shopping with my uncle, we only have really time for one destination before I'm too busy and have to go out again. So it's not really as fun. It's too slow paced for me. And there's no budget shopping, and he doesn't like to cook, so it's really difficult to find things that are both affordable but also you don't need to cook for them. And he doesn't understand the microwave that well, and I tried to show him how to use it, but it's a little difficult for him still, which is unfortunate, because the microwave really isn't that hard to understand how to use. And I did show him, and he was like, oh, cool. And I was like, if you don't know, just click this button. As long as you know how long it goes in the microwave for. Most foods, you just need to click the 30-second button a few times, and it will perfectly cook your food. My favorite food that I like to eat, it takes specifically 3 30-second button pushes. And that's how I usually just cook it. Anyway, I finished making it. The Finnick Fox Bee. It's so cute. Anyway, peace, love. Have a good day, my fab fans, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.